Andrew, can we look at this from a UK perspective for just one moment? How embarrassing is it that we have our outgoing ambassador there representing us, and that is it? No invitation for Keir Starmer, no invitation for Looney Lammy. Nigel Farage is there, which is great. But I mean, we're out of favour because of our hard left socialist government, aren't we?
Well, certainly there's no love lost between Trump and Starmer, and all of the things that Starmer and Lammy and others have been saying about Trump is pretty abhorrent. It doesn't do anything for our special relationship. But just to put it in perspective, it doesn't normally happen that you invite foreign leaders to the inauguration. It's never happened beforehand that a British Prime Minister has been invited, although Trump has basically upset things again in terms of inviting certain people from around the world. But the optics about it, having Nigel Farage there, having a number of people, key people from the UK and other countries there, it sends all sorts of messages to the world. He also has key people from China, obviously, there, and there's the interesting relationships from that point of view. But it's certainly perceived in the global stage as a snub to Starmer.
Can I just bring some breaking news while we're looking at these scenes from the US? And I think this is despicable. Keir Starmer has released his statement about the Southport massacre and Axel Rudakubana pleading guilty during Trump's inauguration address. He had hours to do this. This is disgusting. But let me just read out what he's had to say. I want the families to know that our thoughts are with them and everyone in Southport affected by this barbaric crime. The whole nation grieves with him. Our thoughts are with the families of B.B. King, Elsie Stancombe and Alice De Silva Aguiar, and the families of everyone affected who will be saved the ordeal of a protracted trial. The news that the vile and sick Southport killer will be convicted is welcome. It is also a moment of trauma for the nation, and there are grave questions to answer as to how the state failed in its ultimate duty to protect these young girls. Britain will rightly demand answers, and we will leave no stone unturned in that pursuit. At the centre of this horrific event, there is still a family and community grief that is raw, a pain that not even justice can ever truly heal. Although no words today can ever convey the depths of that pain, I want the family to know that our thoughts are with them and everyone in Southport affected by this barbaric crime. The whole nation grieves with them. Now, Errol Musk, I am absolutely disgusted that Starmer has decided to release this statement buried under the Trump inauguration. Axel Rudakubana pleading guilty has meant that earlier in the day, during a special broadcast of Outspoken, I was able to reveal the news that he had been referred to the Prevent Counter-Terrorism program 3 times before committing this utterly barbaric crime. I have personally seen messages swapped between Rudakubana and his classmates, which make me absolutely convinced this was a terrorist with a clear evil motive. But what's your reaction to Starmer releasing this statement during Trump's inauguration ceremony?
Well, a lot of the time these people just don't think. Or if they don't think, they do things on purpose. And if they never do anything right, so why would we expect them to do something right today? They're never going to do anything right, So
That's
I
very
wouldn't
true.
worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, I can tell you now, the people in America, I won't say, everybody feels like, oh, England, or rather England and the province, I mean, the other countries in England, a lot, because England was our that's where we started. That's where it all started out. But they're not sitting down wondering what happened in England today.
No, but
so
I guess
he's doing it for local attention.
But I guess, Andrew Eborn, what the media knows and what Starmer knows is that the eyes of the world are laser focused on Washington, D.C. This was a very good day to schedule this trial. It was a very good day to bury bad news. And it was a very good moment for Starmer to release his statement in a way where there's not going to be too much scrutiny.
No, you're absolutely right,
That's
Dan.
true.
As always on this one, it's very, very clear. Is the guilty plea, which did surprise a number of people because it only came in court when he was brought up from the cells this morning, happened a number of hours ago. So if the statement has literally just been released, it is deliberate to coincide with the inauguration, and it's completely wrong. You need to turn around, and of course, our heart goes out to the victims. Of course, we need to look at all the circumstances and so on and so forth. But that statement could have been released at the time we had the guilty plea, which was several hours ago.
Absolutely. And the time to talk about this is now, because you told us we couldn't talk about it months ago because of the grief. No. The time to talk about it is now. It does bring me on to Farage, who obviously was straight out of the blocks today with a statement saying that we may never know the truth. He had described Southport as the biggest cover-up of all time. Elon Musk, first to you, because it was your son Elon Musk that made major news by withdrawing his endorsement of Nigel Farage, saying that maybe he didn't have what it takes to be Reform UK leader. Some suggestion that they might try to patch it up while they're both in Washington, D.C. for the inauguration. What do you think is going to happen there? Or is your son the type of guy that once he's turned on someone, his mind is made up?
Well, oddly enough, it was myself it was me that said a few days before Elon said this. I was talking to Talk TV or possibly Times TV, I'm not sure, and I said I don't think Nigel Farage has what it takes, or rather, I said he's not strong enough to be. I said he's a good speaker and he speaks sense, but I don't think he's strong enough for the task at hand, particularly because he hadn't done anything about these three major issues: the gang rape gangs, the 3,000 prisoners, political prisoners, which they are, and Tommy Robinson, who's a political prisoner. And in fact, he sort of washed his hands of Tommy Robinson. So from my point of view, he was done. He was finished. And then a few days later, Elon said he does not see. He made a blank statement. He said Farage is no good. He didn't say he's not strong enough. He just says he's out. So as far as what's happened since then, I have noticed from watching things that Nigel Farage has come out a little stronger on the inquiry into the rape gangs. He hasn't mentioned a word about the 3,000 decent, ordinary people. I don't care what people say to me about that, who are sitting in prison now for objecting to their communities being ruined. And then Tommy Robinson, he hasn't said a word about that. So I can't see how Elon is going to say to him, well, now I see you doing a little bit more. But I see a little bit more from Farage's point of view. But I know my son, and he's got this sort of thing about things. He likes to think that he made a decision and he's stuck by it. He's not the sort of person who likes to be, told, well, you decided this then, and then you decided that later. Now, most of us are open to reason. So hopefully, maybe Elon is open to a bit of reason from Farage. But personally, I still don't think Farage is right. I still don't think he's right. If he was right, he would offer a hand of friendship to Tommy Robinson, who's nothing more than a political prisoner.
Well,
and not somebody, and he didn't go to Eton. So because he didn't go to Eton, like Andrew or something.
He doesn't have a posh voice like Andrew.